Welcome back to another episode on the MLD Balls page. In today's episode, we're going to be deep diving the Sacramento Kings roster. All right, well, if you don't know, well, I guess you know now that we have been deep diving every roster in the NBA. In today's episode, we're going to be doing the Sacramento Kings. If you're a Kings fan, maybe you like what I say and you want to go check out one of our other videos if you want to hear my opinions on other teams. But in today's episode, we're going to be talking about newly acquired star Star DeRozan. Did I just make that off the top of my head? That's pretty cool. But yeah, DeMar DeRozan, was he an all-star last year? But if not, he's still a guy playing at a all-star caliber level, and getting him for 16% of cap space is an amazing thing for the Sacramento Kings. This probably puts them in the playoff push. They're a the Kings are they could finish anywhere. You know what I mean? Anywhere in the top 10 though. Like the Kings are not a bottom team in the West at all, and it really comes down to health. And I think this is a team that has pretty healthy players. How do they perform in the playoffs? I don't know. We'll see who they match up. Who cares about that right now? But DeMar DeRozan averaged 24 points last year on 5 rebounds, 5 assists, played 79 games, like pretty healthy, pretty productive. De'Aaron Fox just had one of his best shooting seasons ever. You know what I mean? He did have his best shooting season ever. And people don't realize that De'Aaron Fox has became one of the better shooters in the league. Like, I don't know, like 7 attempts, he's shooting good percentage. I don't know how well. I could search it up, but like he's shooting good percentage on a lot of volume, and like it's not like he lost his ability to drive. We still know he's one of the most athletic guards in the league and can get to the rim. Yeah, he wasn't doing it as much, but we know what he's capable of. The thing that we didn't know what he was capable of is a three-pointer, and that's what he showed us. You know what I mean? He showed us what we didn't know he could do. And De'Aaron Fox, as a defender, in my opinion, underrated. He's underrated as a defender. Kings fans, can y'all agree with me on that? De'Aaron Fox is low-key a nice defender. Yeah, he may not be big, but he's pesky. You know what I mean? Kind of like Emmanuel Quickly. You know what I mean? Like De'Aaron Fox is not no slouch on defense. He ain't it ain't the best ever. I get it, but like him and Emmanuel Quickly kind of similar, and I would consider Emmanuel Quickly a good defender. Kevin Huerter, this is a guy who I thought about it. He should start. I thought about Keon Ellis or Malik Monk. Malik Monk off the bench is just so perfect. Yeah, Malik Monk might be better than Kevin Huerter. He is better, not even a might. He is better, but just the way he comes off the bench and closes lineups, I wouldn't like change that if it works so well. Keon Ellis though, maybe in the playoffs, if Keon Ellis throughout the season is shooting like 2 less threes a game than Kevin Huerter, but at a 40% clip, I'll start him. You know what I mean? Like if Kevin Huerter is giving me 7 threes on 40%, but Keon is giving me 5 on 39%, I would start Keon Ellis because what he provides defensively and how much I would want that next to Domantas Sabonis, especially. Domantas Sabonis, his defense is kind of lousy, and I think that's the biggest hole with the Kings roster. But Keegan Murray's a good defender next to him. De'Aaron Fox is a solid defender. I don't think highly of DeMar or Kevin Huerter as defenders, but if you could get a Keon Ellis in that lineup in the playoffs, that would be really cool. But in the regular season, this team is going to be like the best offense in the league. Like you got De'Aaron Fox, who's a 20-point per game scorer, DeMar DeRozan, who's a 20-point per game scorer, and Domantas Sabonis, who we know is capable of being a 20-point per game scorer. While Keegan Murray is going to be one of the next elite shooters of all time, in my opinion. I think Keegan Murray is going to finish as a top 100 3-point shooter of all time, like easily, in my opinion. With his stroke and how consistent he's been as a shooter throughout, I think his rookie season, he had the most threes in the rookie season, maybe. I don't know. I'm saying that off the top of my head, but most threes in a rookie season NBA history. I'm pretty sure it's Keegan Murray. Yeah, Keegan Murray at 206, Donovan Mitchell at 187, Damian Lillard at 185, and this year, Brandon Miller made it at 184. But I think Keegan Murray is a great shooter, and you have that next to a DeMar DeRozan. You have a De'Aaron Fox, who I mentioned earlier, shot 37% from three, but I didn't say on how many attempts. It was 8. I said 7. It was 8. Wow, that's amazing. You have Keegan, who's an all-time shooter. De'Aaron Fox, who's shooting 8 a game at 37%. That's great. That's great. You got Malik Monk, who's a good shooter. It's just Domantas Sabonis has a lot of space in him, and DeMar DeRozan could work around that, and they're going to be a great offense. Yes, they have question marks defensively, but this is going to be one of the greatest offenses in league history. No questions about that. They have two of the greatest shooters, because Kevin Huerter, low-key, was a great shooter too. Last year, he had a bad year, but like he had a shoulder injury. Like, yeah, maybe his 1 year where he has a bad shooting year is considerate. Look, like maybe his shoulder injury has something to do with that. You know what I mean? Like, huh? I remember John Collins had a bad shooting year when he broke his shooting thumb, and people were like, "Oh no, John Collins just washed." He broke his right thumb, and he just magically lost his jumper. Then his right thumb healed up, and what do you know? The Jazz feel like he's so valuable that they rather him start than Walker Kessler. You know what I mean? Just because now he's healthy, and it's that easy. Kevin Huerter's been one of the best shooters in the league the past 5 seasons. You know what I mean? It's been a half decade of him being a great shooter. The one season where he's hurt and him having a bad shooting season, I'll look at it more like that, because he could shoot. Him and Keegan, Trey Lyles, he's been here for a while. He's him and De'Aaron Fox, probably the longest tenured Kings. Trey Lyles has been here for so long, and he provides them everything that they want at the 4 position. Small ball 5, Trey Lyles is cool, but he's cool as a 4 or 5 depending on what other teams are running. So Trey Lyles is a positive. Alex Len, the backup big is something, I don't know how I feel about their backup big situation really. Jalen McDaniels, the brother of Jaden McDaniels, they're the same build, but Jalen is not as good at all. He doesn't. Jalen, he's like a project pick here. He's just giving him an opportunity, because what his team needs most is his prototype. His archetype is what they are desperate for. So, if he could have a good season, he will have a big role on this team. But I don't, having stock in him is right now, he's a player that, like, if you think highly of him, this is the best scenario for him. You know what I mean? This is a place that's want to give him minutes and is going to give him opportunity. But let's see if he thrives in it, because we'll see what he does. Jordan McLaughlin, he's a good backup guard if anyone gets hurt. And Orlando Robinson, Heat Nation, stand up. Orlando Robinson, I think he and Isaac Jones are going to be battling for that backup center position. Orlando Robinson is going to give Isaac Jones problems, because on Miami, there was times where I thought he should be playing a little more than he was, but we also got upgrades this offseason with Khalil Ware, so I'm not tripping about it too much, you feel me? But Orlando Robinson, he is a solid backup big in case Isaac Jones doesn't work. I just want to let fans know that Orlando Robinson isn't bad at all. I loved him on the Heat, and I think he will be a solid third option at center. I don't think he should be your second. He is given the opportunity to be a second, though, so we'll see what he does with it. But if you ever have a game where Sabonis is hurt, he won't be a bad backup to whoever's promoted. You know what I mean? Isaac Jones, though, let's dive into my thoughts on these rookies. We're gonna get to Isaac Jones first, because why not hit y'all with a just weird way? You know what I mean? Because we're gonna talk about the second rounder before Devin Carter. Isaac Jones came from the Cougars. What team is that? I was just watching them. I don't even remember. Indiana, I think. I might be wrong. He came from the Cougars, whatever. It says it on the image, right? 19-year-old, super freak athlete. He could defend really well, and he's just Clint Capella at 6'9". You know what I mean? So I would compare him to a Robert Williams. He's that small center who dunks. You know what I mean? Sets good screens, dives at the rim. This is exactly what the Kings need. And he fits the Kings because the Kings are a fast paced team. I think that's what the Kings want to be this year. The Kings want to be the fastest paced offense this year. Because when you look at DeMontis Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox, those are three players that thrive in the fast break. And while they thrive in fast break, you have two shooters next to them. And DeMontis Sabonis, you got to remember, Lonzo Ball, when he was on the Bulls, and you had DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine going to be like DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox, they were the best team in the fast break because when Lonzo Ball would grab the rebounds, that was schematically to let Lonzo Ball have like the ball in his hands on a fast break because he was one of the best fast break playmakers. I said all that to say DeMontis Sabonis is schematically set up rebounds on the Kings because he is one of the best playmakers on the fast breaks we've ever seen. Like when you see DeMontis Sabonis in the open court, he's gonna have DeMar DeRozan who could also run down the court and like until DeMar DeRozan regresses, we're gonna have to treat him like a 25 point per game scorer. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the teams might give him smaller contracts because he's older and they expect him to regress soon, but he's still a 25 point per game scorer. So I'm gonna treat him like that. And in the fast break where he thrives at, holy, he has DeMontis Sabonis creating plays for him. The Kings are going to be a team that they're going to be fast paced. De'Aaron Fox, they're going to be running all game. And Isaac Jones at center for the little bit of time that he plays, because it won't be too much. DeMontis Sabonis is going to play majority of the minutes. You know what I mean? So Isaac Jones, in a little bit of the time that he does play, the Kings are going to be able to play the same way. It might not be Isaac Jones creating the fast break opportunities. Yeah, he's going to be the one grabbing the rebounds and just giving it to DeMar or De'Aaron. But those guys are capable ball handlers too. You know what I mean? It ain't like Sabonis the only creator on the team. Yeah, when Sabonis on the bench, you know, you can have a lineup with Isaac Jones in. You know, you got what Malik Monk in, De'Aaron Fox in, Keegan Murray and DeMar DeRozan in. Hey, you got spacing on that team. And look, on the fast break, you still quick. You still get to run the same plays because Mike Brown, look, that's the Kings coach name, right? Mike Brown, I believe so. Mike Brown will still be able to get to play the same way that he wants to by fast pace. And yeah, I think Isaac Jones was a great pick for them, and he fits so well because he's a second round pick. You know what I mean? In the second round, you may not go best available. You're gonna go. Hold on. In the second round, you don't go best available. You're gonna go with just somebody who fits. I don't know. Yeah. That's why I said hold on. That picture, that image is wrong. His draft age was the reason he fell in the draft. I was right about that. I don't know how I put him at 19 years old. Maybe I'll just change the graphic and update it to 24. So y'all could just ignore that. But yeah, Isaac Jones is a 24-year-old grown man who plays like Robert Williams, and he's going to be able to come in as a backup center. He should be league ready immediately. And I think the Kings realized that this was their biggest weakness, and that's why they didn't care about his age. They didn't care about his upside. They just cared about finding a floor at backup center, and I think they may have found that with Isaac Jones. Their closing lineups, their roster throughout the games, their roster that they should have throughout, other situations. I think De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, DeMontis Sabonis is the closing lineup pretty easily. You know what I mean? You got this rotation of Devin Carter, who we're going to talk about actually right now. Devin Carter is a great playmaker. He's a great defender, hustle guy. He has a nice ability to create 3-point shots. I was shocked watching Devin Carter, his ability to create 3-point shots. I know he could shoot them. I know his numbers were good, but actually watching him, he reminded me of James Harden. It's crazy. You're right. James Harden has that step back that he loved going to. Devin Carter was just step back. And it was throughout multiple games. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a one-game heater. Like, he goes to that consistently. He's a good playmaker. He's a good defender. He's a good hustle. He played like De'Aaron Fox right now. Like, it's crazy. Like, he kind of plays like that. He plays like Emmanuel quickly. He plays like Davion Mitchell, and that's kind of why they traded Davion Mitchell right after they got him. Devin Carter was an older prospect at 22 years old. Again, like I said, the Kings, they finding guys that like, yo, I see how he could fit on the roster right now, and he's best available. Like people just weren't drafting him because of his age. Yeah, I understand that De'Aaron Fox is on the Kings, and it's obviously his job. All right, the Kings. It's not the first time they drafted the best available guard because they just realized it was the right thing to do. Okay, drafting Devin Carter was the right thing to do. He reminds me of DeLon Wright, which I love DeLon Wright. And look, you have a guy like that in this lineup that I said needs defense. Hey, that's nice. I said they need defense and 3-point shooting. And the first names I could think of when I watch him is James Harden and Drew Holiday. I'm not trying to say that that's what he's going to become, but the Kings got exactly what they needed. You know what I mean? They got a guy that can shoot threes and a guy that can defend. Is it at the desired position? I mean, when you look at it, their backup point guard situation kind of was in shambles. Davion Mitchell wasn't that good. I understand Blake Monk was the creator off the bench, and he still is going to be that. He's just going to be that alongside Devin Carter. So them drafting another small guard wasn't that bad of a thing when you see that he was clearly the best option too. Keon Ellis, like I said, good player. Jalen McDaniels, he's going to be given opportunities on his team. They want him to succeed. Does he do it? We'll see. But hey, he's going to be given the opportunity. Yeah, that's all I got to say about the Sacramento Kings. This team, I wonder where I'm going to have them finish off in the Western Conference. I don't know what I feel about the Kings yet. Like I said, no matter what, they're a top 10 team. You know what I mean? I can't say that about every team. I can't say that about the Clippers. I can't say that about the Lakers. I can't say that about the Warriors. But the Kings, I can say they're a top 10 team. Do I know where? No. Do I know how? Yes. Because their offense is going to be one of the fastest paced offense of all time. They're going to be one of the better offenses of all time. Me saying that they're going to be one of the better offenses of all time, by the way, just means like offensive rating. You know, every single year, some offense comes into the year and is the best offense ever. You know what I mean? The Kings got the potential to be that because how they're going to create in fast breaks. You know what I mean? They're going to be crazy in fast breaks. And DeMontis Sabonis is able to just also like get beat on offense so much that they're going to be in shootouts. You know what I mean? Like this team is going to be in shootouts, and they're going to be shooting people out. You know what I mean? They're going to be winning some of them. So yeah, this King team is going to be fun to watch. If you're bored and want to sit back at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, bro, this is something you could do because hey, the Kings, they are one of the best teams to watch. I'm predicting them to be one of the funnest teams to watch, man. Because, like I said, they're going to be a fast-paced team. Other teams are going to be scoring on them, and they're going to be scoring on people. And this is a team that they're going to be very strong throughout the regular season because they could withhold injury this without besides DeMontis Sabonis. Even DeMontis Sabonis, actually, they could, bro. You have 3 All-Star caliber players with a 6-man as good as Malik Monk. You could get through one injury. You know what I mean? This is a team that is deep. Injuries don't affect them as much as some of these top heavy teams like the Lakers. You know what I mean? This team is deep. This team has a lot of talent. This team has good coaching. Yeah, this is a lock top 10 team. Thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode on the MLB Balls page. We're gonna be doing a lot of these episodes right now, so we're gonna be knocking off maybe the rest of the NBA. So if I haven't done your team yet, I'm probably doing them right now, and you're gonna hear about them soon. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Currently